If you have an off-grid solar setup, like a cabin or anything off-grid, you should know where your energy is going. So watch this. You know, I really like these fat wood fire starters more and more. And there are a couple of different companies. They are all about the same price. And I really like it. So what I do is I just cut them in half with an axe. And they smell really nice. And they work pretty well. So for 21 cents a piece, you cut them in half. I use both halves, right? I just want it closer together. So for 21 cents, you can start a fire. I really recommend these. I really like them now. Not expecting much from solar today. But I'm sure my batteries are pretty fully charged. So let's have a look. Now let's see what my battery is up to. See how happy it is. 100%. I have a temperature alarm, so the internal heater came on. Turn my inverter on. Are you coming? You want to fetch some snowballs? Snowballs, yeah? Come here. Okay. No barking. No barking. No barking. No barking. Remy, you leave it. You bark so much. No barking. Okay. Hey! Yeah, lunch is cooking nicely on the wood stove. These can cookers are pretty nice. I'll leave a link in the description for you. You put your veggies in the bottom, and then I put potatoes in the middle, and then meat on top, spices, simmer sauce, you know, whatever you want. And then just let it cook for about an hour and a half. Sun came out. Man, does this feel nice. It's 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Beautiful day. My battery's at 100%. And as you can see, my solar panels are completely clear now. They're nice and warm. And I'm only charging at like 50 watts because my battery is completely charged. So it's called absorption charge, and I have the inverter running, so it's really just replacing what the inverter is consuming. You know, cell phone booster, you know, charging a few things. So I wanted to show you this. So this is my Yodel outdoor fireplace, and it does rust, but it's a different kind of rust. It's a lot finer than a regular carbon steel rust. It's not bad. You know, it blends into the environment a little bit better. I like it. I just want you to see, you know, how it weathers. And if you like it, great. If you don't like it, you know, don't get it. In my other cabin, the solar panel is completely clear as well. I don't know if it's even charging, so it might be too cold. You know, the cabin is probably pretty cold from last night, so I don't even think this is putting anything into the batteries right now, which I have no consumption there anyway, so not a big deal for me. Yeah, I think lunch is done. And, oh, you can't see it. The lens fogged up. I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna try the potatoes, make sure they are done. Hey, I want to show you something here on this mini split that I have, and I was just looking at my inverter consumption, and I'll put it up here next to me. So currently I have an idle consumption of 37 watts. And I couldn't figure out what it was, and I turned my circuit breakers off, you know, one by one, and see what it is. And you know, idle consumption is about 5 watts for the inverter, and if I turn all the outlets on, it goes up to 10 or 11 watts because I got little things, you know, charging, and you know, little LED strip transformers running, and you know, they all have a little bit of idle consumption. My TV has a little bit of idle consumption, but 37 watts, it's like, what the heck is going on? And until I turned off the air conditioning mini split, here, watch this. It's going down to 7 watts, 7 or 8 watts. So this thing is idling away 30 watts and turning into heat and noise and radio noise and, you know, that kind of stuff. So not a big deal, you know, 30 watts. On the other hand, my outside lights, if I turn my outside lights on, there's only 15 watts. So I can run my outside lights for half the energy my mini split is consuming just idling. Isn't that amazing? I mean, there are no lights on or anything. It's probably going into a transformer, and that transformer is just turning into heat. Pretty interesting. Turn these outside lights off. See, it goes down to 7 watts, 7, 8 watts. Turn the mini split on. And it's going back up. So I'm not sure. It's just you know, good to know that every once in a while the mini split draws 30 watts for whatever reason. You know, in case you're, you know, really tight on battery power, and you know, everybody always wants to put more solar panels up, but you know, using less is another way to make this work. So I'm not picking on my mini split unit, right? I love this mini split unit, okay? But look at it this way. 30 watts of idle consumption of this great mini split. I love this thing. is 720 watt hours per day in a 24-hour period. That's 3/4 of a kilowatt hour. That is 6 times more than my refrigerator draws. I can run 6 refrigerators for the same amount of energy as this mini split idle consumes away and turns it into heat and radio noise on some transformer. That is 1 hour of full sunlight on my solar panels. Just think about it. 30 watts may not seem much, but if you add it all up, I think it's a huge amount of energy. I'm leaving the breaker turned off until I need to use the mini split. Look at your little parasitic consumption items that draw, a few watts here and a few watts there. To me, it's big. And most of you want more solar panels. I don't. I'm happy with 2. I just know exactly where my energy goes, and I want to use less rather than make more. So that's all I have for you today. See you guys on the next one.